Congratulations on the victory. I notice you have a wrist brace on. What's the issue with the hand?
首先祝贺你比赛胜利，然后看到你手上戴了个护具，手有受伤吗？
我也不知道有没有受伤，就是下来的时候有点不舒服。我想着明天坐飞机要回家，我怕在飞机上就是让他怎么说呢？
Okay.
就会不舒服。
I don't know if it's a bad injury, maybe not, but I just feel a little bit uncomfortable after the fight on my thumb. So because I'm gonna fly back to China tomorrow morning, it's gonna be a long flight, so I just don't want to make it worse in the flight.
Obviously, a first-round finish. You must be very happy with your performance. Can you talk to us about what it was like in the cage there tonight?
所以啊，又一次首回合终结，你应该对自己的 表现很满意，很高兴，所以跟大家分享一下你当时在笼子里是什么样的心情，什么样的感受。
我进到笼子里面，我就听到了很多嘘声，但是他们不知道我们中国有相声，但是在相声里面，嘘声是一个喝彩。所以我进了笼子里面，我又郁闷。 我又开心。
So when I step into the octagon, I hear a lot of boos from the audience. But to me, I feel that they don't know that there are a type of comedy shows in China called 相声. So in that show, when the audience boo you means they like you, they cheer for you. So when I heard that, I was like, my thought is very complicated. I'm a little bit pissed off, but also like I want to laugh.
And obviously, look, as soon as you landed the big elbow and cut Anthony open, he seemed to be struggling to continue. Did you know from that point on that you had the fight in the bag, basically?
所以啊，在比赛中你一肘击中石鑫之后，给他这个额头上开了一个大口子，然后后来在砸击的时候呢，就他又一直在那儿挣扎。所以你那一肘击中他之后，你有没有当时就觉得，哎，这场比赛差不多就拿下了？
当我打中他的时候，我第一感觉是，这个比赛刚刚开始，因为我非常尊重石鑫的战斗风格，因为据我了解，他是一名真正的战士，他不会停止，不会停下。所以说，当我们两个都看到血的时候，我们都特别兴奋。赛前大家都在说。 都在质疑石鑫对待比赛的态度，但我一直是很认可的，因为我们两个都是真正的战士，我们不会停下进攻，就哪怕石鑫在场上已经开了口子、见了血，他还在不停地给我施压。
Yeah, when I hit the elbow on Anthony's head, what in my mind at that moment is okay. The battle, the war is just start. Because I know Anthony, I watch a lot of his fight. He's a true fighter. He's a true warrior. He's tough. I think a lot of his fight, he just enjoy the bloody war. So I think at that moment, when both of us saw the blood, both of us get more exciting. So, before the fight, many people doubt about Anthony. So what type of performance he can bring in the cage for this fight, but I never doubt about him. I truly respect him, his toughness.
Just one quick one for me. You just spoke about fighting a legend like Anthony Smith. This was your 25th fight. It was his 59th professional fight. Can you even process what that means, that he's made that walk 59 times, and can you ever envision hitting that milestone?
所以啊，咱们聊到这个对石鑫的这个职业生涯，就你也说你很尊敬他。你想这场比赛是你的第25场比赛，然后呢19场比赛全部首回合终结对手，但是呢， 他这场比赛打完，他的职业生涯已经打了60多场比赛了。那你有没有想过自己会不会有一天也能达到他这样的成就，打他这么多的比赛？
我有想过，我会打很多的比赛。怎么说？就接下来我们就相当于一个新老交换，我接了他的重任，我会继续向前冲。还有中国有一句话是：上山的人永远不要嘲笑下山的人，因为他见过你没见过的风景。所以说这次跟他比赛，我是保持了一个尊重，然后全力以赴。
Yeah, sometimes I visualize I may fight many more times, and for this fight, for Anthony, I really respect him, and I think I'm still like uphill climbing the mountain, and you should always respect the person who is down still from the peak. So yeah, I do respect Anthony. Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations.
What's up, gang? All right, so we had 15,984 was sold out. Gate was 2.2 million. It's the arena record for sports. The performance of the night went to Ming Yang and Malcolm. They won 50 grand each. And the fight of the night went to Brown and Dalby. What's up, buddy?
Let's start off with the main event. Interesting fight, right? Ian looked like he had it in the bag, and then suddenly, the last 2 rounds, Carlos came flying back. Curious your thoughts on the fight and why Pratis wasn't able to get the finish in the 5th round.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this fight, you know, kid was on a 10-fight win streak, or 10-fight finish streak, I think, 11-fight win streak. He was 4-0 in the UFC. Look good, you know, in the matchmaker room. We were talking about this could be a fun fight, and you know, credit to Ian, takes these fights on short notice. He'll fight anybody, and yeah, he looked good tonight.
Do you find that Ian's able to like get these guys to go into his pace, right, where he sort of slows the fight down, just lands from the outside? Do you think that's like one of his best attributes?
I don't know. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, he definitely gets in there and controls everything. The pace, what he wants to do, when he wants to do it. Even against the guy, you know, the question was tonight, would Pratis go in there and put unbelievable pressure on him, stay in his face? Then we were wondering, you know, would Ian take him down and hold him down? You know, so those were all the questions we had too were answered. But this is one of those fights that, on paper, you know, the kid's 31 years old. He's got a great record, and it's not tonight like Ian went out there and, you know, did some, you know, if he did some MMA shit that this kid isn't ready for yet or whatever. It was a stand-up fight, and he controlled the pace. He controlled everything. He did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. But the great thing was in the last round, Pratis obviously was trying to finish the fight. So
Ian announced himself as the official backup for your welterweight title fight in Montreal. Is that official? Did he just announce that himself?
it's official. Yeah.
All right, cool. And then Anthony Smith obviously retired tonight. You guys rolled a brilliant package for him. Just give us your thoughts on his career and him as a fighter.
Who's that? Who'd you
Anthony
say?
Smith.
Yeah. What about it?
He's retired. Give us some
Yeah.
thoughts.
Yeah. That's a tough way to go out. But yeah, he's a great guy. Obviously has an unbelievable story, and you know, I'm glad we ended up with him here. He's a good human being, and you know, obviously he has a career now. with us not fighting.
We are still waiting for a main event for International Fight Week. And I'm sure you were willing and ready to break that for us now. Who is main eventing that?
Well, I just announced some fights yesterday, and that wasn't one of them.
Yeah, there's a couple you didn't announce that people were kind of hyped for. There's some rumors. There was rumors that it was going to be Hamzat DDP. Turns out that doesn't look like it's true. There's now rumors it's going to be Ilia Topuria versus Islam. Is that a
Well, we all know that fight's happening. The Duplessis versus Hamzat fight. It's happening. It's just not happening in International Fight Week. That fight's done.
Okay.
Just not happening that.
And Ilia Islam?
What's that?
Ilia versus Islam?
We'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how it plays out.
The other big one is obviously John versus Tom Aspinall. This week was a funny one. Someone reported that the fight's done, it's got a date. Then the next day someone reported the fight's off, and then John's not taking it. Where do we stand with that fight?
Everything you hear is bullshit until we say it.
So that fight is still the target for both men?
I've said it many times that's the fight that we want to make this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, you said you were super confident. It's definitely going to happen. Are you still super confident?
Still super confident.
Cool. In your career, do you remember another fight that people are kind of bitching at you about as much as this one?
Yeah, there's been plenty, but I've said since day one, this will be the biggest heavyweight fight in the company of, in the history of the company and in the history of the sport. This will be a big one.
I'm looking forward to it.
Big couple weeks for the TKO group. Last week in Vegas, WrestleMania, biggest WrestleMania of all time. Then you took over Kansas City this week. Can you just talk about how that process has been and what a big weekend it was and is going to continue to be here in Kansas City?
Yeah, it's been good. And you know what's crazy about WrestleMania in Vegas? Anybody who lives in Vegas, you felt it. You felt it. We went to the, I think it was the same night. Yeah, it was the same night. It was Friday night or Saturday night. And the Bellagio, when I tell you that this place was packed, I mean, it was like Super Bowl. Every table, you couldn't get in near a table, and down the walkways were all packed. You felt WrestleMania in Vegas last week.
What did you make of the crowd reaction you got on the first night there at WrestleMania?
Yeah, everybody was cool. That was definitely my first WrestleMania. The only other wrestling WWE event I had been to before that was Ronda's first match.
Last one for me. Can you speak about one of the bigger performances of the weekend, Dana White's playmate? Got disqualified on Thursday. What does he need to do next time out so we can see a good performance?
Well, the guy who handles all my bulls is my partner, Dennis Davis, so I'll let him figure that out. But he was mean and nasty. That's why we got him. So, yeah. Thank God that kid was all right. But, yeah. So I wrote a bull back in 2015, which is what got me into this. It's one of the dumbest things that I've ever done. But, you know, when they strap your hand in, you go like this to let them know that you're ready to go, and they open the gate. And I remember as we were getting in, and they're strapping my hand to the bull, and I'm thinking, now I have to set my mind to raise my hand, you know, to have them open this thing up. But the bull starts smashing your legs against the bars, so you can't pull your hand up fast enough. And I noticed at the PBR that they're all padded. All the bars are padded for that reason. When we did it, the bars weren't padded. But yeah, I mean, forget riding the bull, just getting on the bull inside the inside that enclosure. I mean, that guy got knocked out. He was knocked unconscious. So that is a rough, nasty sport. Love it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hey, Dana, back here. In a recent interview, you talked about the new meta rankings that'll come out later this year, and something that was interesting is you said that you'll have a media rankings and you'll have like the new AI rankings.
I said AI and human.
So my question is, for fights, production, matchmaking moving forward, will you guys lean on one ranking more than the other? Like for graphics, will the AI rankings be the ones that you guys focus on, or?
Listen, I'm not delusional and think that the AI thing is going to solve all the problems. That's why we'll have two sets of rankings. We'll have AI and human. So I don't know. We got to see how it goes.
Another question regarding the fights tonight. I was just curious to get your thought on Michel Pereira's performance. Obviously, he did a lot more before actually stepping into the octagon than he did.
Yeah, so you know how As soon as the round starts, they post some of the people's posts. There was a guy that said, that Pereira looked like he was stuck in the mud, and that is what he did look like tonight. He looked like he couldn't get off. He looked slow. He looked lethargic. He definitely wasn't himself. It wasn't, the Pereira we're used to seeing fight. But I don't know. Has he been through here yet? No. Yeah, you got to ask him what happened tonight. But listen, you can't take the people were booing. I think that Kansas City got spoiled tonight. This card was so good, man. Every fight was incredible. Mostly finishes, but that wasn't a bad fight. It wasn't. Believe me, I've seen some bad fights in my day. That wasn't one of them. I thought, Abus looked great tonight.
Gotcha. My last question is: I know you said the Hamza DDP fight is done. Any updates on when that will happen?
This year.
Thank you, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Dana, over here. Malcolm Wellmaker would like to get on the Atlanta card. He said he's 2 hours away from that card. Do you think he could get on there?
Who did? Who said that?
Malcolm.
Oh, yeah. What did he say? He wants to fight on that card?
Yes.
You know me, man. When guys want to fight constantly, I love that. Yeah.
And you recently got a person released from a Russian prison. Could you speak on what happened there? What your role in that?
So when we had the fight in Australia in Sydney, I got a call from a friend of mine and asked if he could come by my hotel room and talk to me, and I said of course. And he came by and told me the story, and then asked if I would go to the president, because I guess they had been working for like a year with the old administration trying to get it released and couldn't get it done. So they asked if I would talk to Trump. So I said, of course. So I called him, and he said, yeah, let me see what I can do. And literally in 3 weeks, he had her out. And it's crazy you asked me that question now, because nobody's even asked me about that. But she FaceTimed me like 2 days ago. What an incredible, sweet, positive human being she is. And, yeah, President Trump and Putin, give them both credit for getting her out.
All right. Thank you for doing it as well.
Thank you. I didn't do anything but make a call. Thank you.
Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties when you said, so you confirmed that Ian Machado Garry is the backup from Montreal?
That Ian is.
Yes.
Just curious, how much does his willingness to take short notice fights, because he took short notice against Shavkat, then he takes short notice here against Carlos. How much does that play into your decision to make that happen for him?
Listen, there's been lots of guys and girls that have taken fights at short notice, but when you're that person, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah. And I know that you were talking about Michel Pereira. I was just curious if you could actually rate his pre-fight dance and what you thought of it. He came out to Kendrick Lamar. It's not like us. I'm just curious what you thought of his dance.
I didn't see him dancing. Was it on his walkout?
Yeah, he did it on a walkout.
I missed that.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you should go take a look at it and let us know.
I'm not a big dance fan, so I'm sure my opinion doesn't matter.
Appreciate it.
And it is the fight business.
Actually, just one more, Dana. At WrestleMania, did being there and seeing it and seeing the setup change your mind at all on UFC in a stadium show anytime soon?
No.
Okay.
No. Nothing will change my mind about a stadium show. I mean, you guys were here tonight. Kansas City is an awesome city. The people here are great. I really like this town. And the energy in that place was awesome all night. That's the energy you get in a, not that there wasn't listen, when you get, what they have, 63,000 people there, I mean, you're going to get some energy like they did. But I am not a fan of stadiums. I like arenas.
And last one, I believe Malcolm said earlier that if he got the bonus, he would quit his job. So you just got him out of his job.
Congratulations, I think. Yeah. Yeah, good for him. Sorry to his employers, but good for him.
Hello, sir. Speaking of Russia, recently a special representative of President Putin for investment and economic cooperations with foreign country said that they are in talks with the UFC of bringing back events to Russia. Can you confirm or deny this?
They're bringing back, there's a special representative for President Putin that's talking about bringing UFC back to Russia. Can you confirm that there's talks about that?
Yeah, listen, we never stopped. Our fighters still fought, and those things all happened during all that shit that was going on. And yes, I mean, we're a global business. Yeah. We're a global business. Bad shit happens all the time, all around the world. And yes, we will run the business like we always have.
Looking forward to hear you back, and thank you.
Thank you, sir. Done with me? Thanks, Kansas City. Have a great night.
Water. Fancy water.
Right, boys, how are we? Firstly, before we get going, I want to say thank you to everyone that changed their schedule, that was a part of my camp. I took this fight on 25 days' notice, and a lot of people sacrificed a lot of things. To everybody that helped me, I want to say thank you. You know who you are. There was far too many to name. You guys left your families, you guys changed your schedules, and that means the world to me, to show me that I have a team and people around me that are willing to change everything at the drop of a dime and help me get this win. So thank you so much. And yeah, it's an honor to get this win for all of you.
Congrats on the win. Can you walk us through your performance? How do you feel about it?
Dude, I felt great. I was faster. I was more clinical. My fight IQ was on point. I did everything I thought I was going to do except finish him. But he hits like a truck. He kept coming forward, and you could see the experience he's had in Muay Thai show off. But at the end of the day, you have to understand, this guy had a full camp, 25 days notice, back-to-back short notice fight against two of the best in this division, two of the most dangerous in this division. And I went out there and showed the world that I can beat anyone, anywhere, anytime, and I can look fucking great doing it.
You said he hits like a truck. Were you surprised by his power?
No, we knew how strong he hit. He puts everything into his shots. And, yeah, he just caught me very good at the end. And, again, I mixed up my wrestling well to make him respect it and reset him. But I won the majority of the on the feet. Like, I beat him up for 4 rounds on the feet. I was smart. I kept him moving. I never let him get settled. And, yeah, I did what I needed to get the job done. And I'm very proud of what I did. And, fuck, I was fast.
What happened in that 5th round when he did?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and look at that. I have no idea. I think he caught me with something. I jumped on a leg and he defended well and we ended up in a scramble, but I have no idea. That's just...
Did you lose your bearings at that point?
No. I knew exactly where I was. I knew I was completely present. There was one thing going through my head. Do not stop. Keep moving. Keep going, because it's hard to hit someone who keeps moving and you have to readjust. Just like on the feet. I say this to everyone when I tell them, when I teach at home and when I teach around the world to my friends, the second you stop, it only gets worse. And it's hard in that moment. It's hard in that moment to push through, and you've got a man on top of you who hits like a truck coming down on you. You just got to keep going and know that everything will figure itself out. But I dominated that man for 5 rounds. Like, and he had a couple moments of success, but I would think he would, considering he's one of the dangerous men in the division.
Very confident this week heading into this fight. You had mentioned before the fight, actually, that you already had a trip booked to Montreal. Dana was just in here confirmed that you are officially the backup fighter. Was that part of the negotiation when the contract was presented to you, that he said, if you go out and get the win here, you'll be the backup?
100%. I told him, if I'm doing a back-to-back thing and saving your ass, you got to give me the reward. And I told you, I'm a glass half full. I didn't need that part, but I told him I want that. I want the reassurance that when I get this, I get what I deserve. I'm the official backup, and I'm next. Whoever wins that fight, if that fight goes ahead, that's my next opponent. You don't take back-to-back short notice fights, 21 days and 25 days notice against the most dangerous guys in the division, and not get rewarded for it. I am one of the best welterweights this world's ever seen. I'm 27 years of age, 9-1 in the UFC. This is my 10th fight. I'm on a roll, and I'm just going to get better and better and better. And if one of those guys slip up in 2 weeks, you best believe I'm going to be ready for everything. And that belt is coming back home to Ireland.
You talked a bit with Carlos after the fight. Can you just share what you guys were talking about?
I just told him that he is a monster. I said, Eli, você é monstro, mano. Você tem tudo. Você quer o meu ajuda. Eu quero ver todo brasileiros vai em cima no rankings. I want to see all the Brazilians climb up the rankings. For me, I know he's in a rival gym, but when you share that octagon with me, you get my respect. And if that guy ever needs my help, I will be there to help him because I want to see all of the Brazilians rise up. I told everyone this week, I am the best Brazilian welterweight on the planet. I am the best Brazilian. I am more Brazilian than him, whether he likes it or not. His country wanted me to win. I carry that Machado name with a lot of pride. And for me, this fight today meant so much more to my family in Shooter Box, right? But I am always there to help Brazilians reach the top, and I want to see them all succeed because I know how hard they have to fight to get to where they are. So my job as a friend, as a family to all the Brazilians that I see is to help them get there. And I have nothing but respect for people who step into the octagon with me.
Another contender in this division was in here earlier, Joaquin Buckley. There's some back and forth.
That man is an absolute pussy. I don't care for anything he has to say. Leave him to be him, and let's move on.
You are the backup. Can you just see if you don't end up getting the spot and that fight does go through, how do you see that one playing out?
I do think Bilal has the advantage. I think Jack hits hard. Jack is clean at some boxing. But I just feel like we've seen Jack get outclassed by people who aren't as good as what Bilal does in the same style. And Bilal is the very best at that pressure cooker style. He doesn't hit the hardest, but he does not stop coming forward, and he mixes in his wrestling, and he makes it awkward. And I really do think that that's a stylistically terrible matchup for Jack. And I think we see Bilal get to finish in the 4th or 5th round.
Last one. When I talked to you earlier in this week, I mentioned a new possible nickname for you, the Card Savior. Have you put any more thought into that?
I told you. The saving grace of the welterweight division. A tall, beautiful white light at the end of the tunnel. If you need a savior, you call Ian Machado Garry. And Hunter and Dana, they know that. They've got a company man who will show up and save a card.
Do you have a preference out of Jack or Bilal, who you'd fight for the title?
Bilal. Nothing to do with style, but just to do with what he's done in the division. He is the champion. He has beaten former champions. He's on a however many fight win streak. I feel like Jack has not done the same workload. And I don't want any question marks on my career. I've told you this. So I want to beat the best guys in the world. And Jack is up there in that level. But I just think Bilal has done more to warrant that status.
Do you find you're a bit of an anomaly in that you're better against southpaws than you are orthodox fighters, I feel like.
Dude, isn't that mental? Do you know how many southpaws I've faced? It's not easy, dude. It ain't easy, especially two of the most awkward guys in this division. Jeff Neal and Carlos Patches, because they're both fast, they're both aggressive, and they're both big, and they hit like trucks. And I ate everything both of them had, and I beat them up. I've showed people the speed and the intelligence that I have. My footwork is unrivaled. My fight IQ is amazing, and I am fast as fuck. You could put me in there with a featherweight, and I'll be faster than them. That's the way I operate, and I'm very proud of how I work. And to do it on short notice, and to pull in people from all around the world to do it, and make this happen, cut weight on 25 days' notice, show up for a 5-round fight against a guy who had already had a fight camp. That just shows how talented I am and how blessed I am, and I am born to fight. To anyone out there who wants to fight more, trust in yourselves and go with everything you have, because this is the most important thing you can have.
Very well said, but now you're at an interesting point, right, where you could get a title shot if something happens, something here. So do you have to sort of pull your own self back and not take short notice fights right now until you know how the division's playing out? Because you could slide into a title fight at some point.
Well, considering that Jack just got a title fight after a year off, you're fucking right. I could just sit out for a year and maybe I'll get a title shot. You know what I mean? I busted up Shavkat's knee. That guy can't fight for a year. Isn't that a coincidence? He fights me and he can't fight for a year. That's a bit wild. I do feel slightly disrespected about that. I know I lost. I know I didn't get my hand raised, but not even a call. That's why I made sure that if I take this fight and I'm saving your ass again, you give me what I deserve, and that's to be next in line. And if anyone has a problem with that, I ain't a stranger to say no. You know that. I'm not going to say no to a fight. So there's going to be a lot of people chomping at my name and talking about my name right now. I've told you this. There is not a bigger fight you can make in this division. Me against the champion, I have the most media talking about me. I bring the most attention to a card. You talk about the guys who are at the top of this division, there ain't many bigger than me. I show up, I save cards, I put on fights, and I do everything I possibly can to go out there and get the win. If for some reason one of these guys slip up, I am going to take that belt and get it wrapped around my waist.
Just curious, how did Carlos stack up against the other guys that you faced in this division?
He's very aggressive, and he's very good at what he does, and you have to respect that. And you have to keep him moving. You cannot let him stop and get confident, because if he does, he'll light you up and he'll hit you hard. So, again, he wasn't the hardest to prepare for, but you still have to give the man all the respect in the world, and I have nothing but respect for him.
And to go back to you being the backup, excuse me, Sean Brady had some comments about him being the #1 contender, that he believes that he essentially thinks it doesn't make sense that you would get the backup. Just curious what your thoughts are if you heard the comments that he made this week.
I don't go on my phone on fight week. I stay off it, but I know that he was complaining that I didn't get the title. He was moaning about me not getting it. So it's funny to see him in this position now where he's talking about that he's not getting it. Here's the truth. I show up on short notice. I helped the UFC save cards. I did it against Shavkat. I've done it now against Carlos. When you take big risks, you get big rewards. I'm next in line, and he can take a fucking back seat and wait.
The comment that he made specifically was that your claim to fame is that you lost to Shavkat, just to let you know what he said.
He got knocked out by the champion.
And out of curiosity, I know obviously you don't feel like it was a loss in the Shavkat fight, but how important is it for you to get that rematch one day? Is that something that's at the back of your mind at all?
You guys know I like plans, right? You guys know I have visions in my mind. Well, let me tell you what's next. I'm going to fight the winner. I believe it's Bilal. And that's nothing against Jack. I just believe stylistically Bilal has what it takes to get this fight done, and quite convincingly. So I'm going to fight Bilal next. I'm going to beat Bilal. Bilal has said it many, many times. I am the toughest opponent in the division for him. Then when Bilal doesn't have the belt, there's a certain pound-for-pound #1 who wants to come up, and his name is Islam Makhachev. And I have nothing but love and respect for that man and his style, and it would be an honor to share the octagon with him. I would love to go out there and prove against him in my first title defense that I'm the pound-for-pound #1. I beat him. I take that status. I win my first title defense, and then Shavkat gets the rematch. And I'm going to go out there and I am going to dismantle that man and prove that he never won that fight. And that's my next three-fight plan. That's how I see it going, and I don't want that any other way.
Just one more for me. I know you said you didn't want to discuss what Joaquin said earlier, but there was a little incident with you guys at the weigh-ins the other day. I'm just curious what happened there.
There was no incident with me at the weigh-ins with Joaquin.
Okay, fair enough.
I didn't fucking see him.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
No.
Going to the Sean Brady comment, I'm just curious, if the title fight goes through in a couple of weeks and let's say Bilal has to be out, let's say he wins and let's say he has to be out for a little bit of time and the UFC comes to you and says, would you like to fight Sean Brady? In the meantime, you don't seem like the kind of person that wants to, stay and wait for a title shot?
So now you put me in a predicament where when I get a call and my answer is always yes, I'm in a predicament where do I say yes or do I hold off? The truth is, there's a guy in here. He's my agent. He'll tell me and he'll give me the right things, what he thinks I should do, and I will lean on him because that's his area of expertise. Because he fucking knows me. If he calls me and says there's a fight, my answer is fucking yes. And Hunter and Dana know that too. But I am next in line. I am next in line for a title, and all of the other guys can take a fucking back seat and show me the respect I deserve.
And then in regards to tonight's fight, all week, I know you were kind of having a little bit of fun, poking fun at Carlos, just talking about him quitting in past fights. With how much you were clearly in control of the first half of the fight, did it at all surprise you with how hard he came on in that final round?
No, in the final round, you know what? When you see a wounded dog, and that fucking wounded dog's going to be more venomous and vicious to defend itself, I felt that type of energy. And I knew that he was going to come out. And I knew he was potentially 4 rounds down, potentially 3-1. I would have had it 3-1 on the scorecards. Me and Diego agreed. So, but in your mind, you can convince yourself, I'm down. So I knew he was coming out with energy of animosity and venomous power. But I dominated that fight. It was everything the way I seen it. I didn't see him making it to the 5th, and that just shows that that guy who maybe once was a quitter wasn't anymore, and he's improved. So good job to him.
Last one for me, kind of on a lighter note. Just we kind of talked about this the other day at weigh-ins, but what does it mean to put on this kind of performance and get the win in front of your family, especially having your little man running around here? What does that mean to you?
I tell everyone that there's nothing more I love in life than fighting, and there isn't. But I would stop all of this tomorrow if my family needed me to. And I would go work at Starbucks if I had to. I would do anything to make my family happy and to make my little boy and my wife proud. There is nothing more that matters to me in my heart and soul than looking after the people I love. And that means my team and my family, Shoot the Box, and everyone around me. There is nothing more I want to do than make them proud. But my wife loves to watch me fight. My little boy loves to watch me fight. And they have such a big smile on their face when they see their daddy go out there and put on a show. So I will never stop. But it means the absolute world to have them by my side.
Congrats.
I appreciate you. Thanks so much. I will see you all in 2 weeks' time.